What's going on, Jeromes? Happy Monday out there, everyone, everywhere. Daily Jeromes live stream Monday through Thursday, talking Vikings, talking draft, talking all of the nonsense this week. It's finally draft week. It's going to be good times. Also, note, so all monthly Jerome subscriptions as well as donations on the Venmo this week will be donated to the Sheridan Story. It's a nonprofit here in the Twin Cities. Helps make sure that young kids are continually fed through the weekends, through the summer breaks, since a lot of young kids do only get fed regularly at school. So they try to bridge that gap there. It's a great organization. So donate this draft week. We're going to put in a lot of work. So get after that. So it's going to go straight to them. We got a lot of Q's. We got some A's. Let's go. First one, Robbie. Why do you think most commentators overlook DJ Wam? His rookie production was second only to Chase Young. I think it's easy to overlook just because he was a fourth-round pick and the Vikings defense was so booty last year. But I'm pretty bullish on him year two. We just finished up a video talk about him, how I prefer DJ Wonnum over a lot of the edge rushers in this class. So, yeah, I'm really excited about him year two. Plus, since Daniil's going to be back, and he's obviously going to take up a lot of attention, DJ Wonnum getting singled up in one-on-one spots, yeah, let's go. Evan Casconaway. If there's a punter that could punt the ball to the 1 yard every single time without fail, would you draft him one? You might draft him number one overall. And that's being slightly facetious. But yeah, a guy that can swing field position no matter what. And we're talking about every single time. So like if you're backed up on your own 1 yard line, he can punt it 99 yards, pinpoint out of bound. Yes, you will take that. That'd be a huge competitive advantage. Tim 03. Would you rather have AVT and J2 Fele or have Landon Dickerson and Christian Barmore? So USC versus Alabama. I would rather have Dickerson and Barmore, where you're gambling on Dickerson's health and you're gambling on Barmore's upside. I think AVT and Tufele would be much more safer picks, but they don't quite have the ceiling as those other two. Although I think AVT has a slightly higher ceiling than Dickerson, but it's pretty close. R free. Coach Patterson, extremely high. Want him year two? Yes. Get it. He's got the size. He's got the length. He's a very coachable young guy. Yeah, I'm really excited about Wonnum. Rahul Pradhan. Nailed it. Are the Vikings more likely to get a second round pick this year by trading down in the first or by packaging up some of those mid round picks? I think it's more likely to be packaging up, where I think if the Vikings trade down the first, I don't think they'll trade down completely out of the first round. Plus, it's going to be tough to hit that majestic, mythical sweet spot of getting down in the first and getting a second round pick back. So I think it's more likely that they'll package up the 2/3, the 4/4, the 2/5, and get back into the second round. James Quayle. The way the Vikings completely ignored the offensive line this offseason made me lose all faith and confidence in this team moving forward. I swear they just don't want to be a good team. Well, it's fair. It's kind of fair. Shifting gears. Has there been any word on the NFL dropping the one helmet rule for the season? And do you think there could be new uniforms for the Vikings coming soon? I haven't heard anything about the helmet. I haven't really looked, to be honest. And I don't think the Vikings would get new uniforms. And if they did, I don't think it would be a drastic change. I think it may change just like a stripe here or a stripe there. But how long ago was it? Was it 2014, 2015 when they went to the new look and also the flat matte helmets? Yeah, I don't see them changing too much. R-Free. If the season goes south and everyone gets walking papers, any chance they keep Coach Patterson to be new head coach? It would have to be a spot where it's not a complete disaster. Like, it goes pear-shaped, but they use Zimmer as a scapegoat, and ownership steps in, and maybe Patterson is the interim head coach. Maybe the Vikings show some life, and they're like, Andre, you're going to be our dude. And maybe they like Clint Kubiak, so they want continuity, but they just want new leadership at the top. I guess maybe. But if this is a 3-14 season, I think everyone will get fired. Joe Barton. Are Dalvin Tomlinson and Michael Pierce both 3-down defensive tackles? If not, what would bring in a third down to rush the passer? Pierce No, but I think that he does have a little bit more giddy up than he's given credit for, considering his Ravens tape. Diesel Dalvin, he can stay on the field 3 downs, but I think early downs, running downs, he'll be at the 3-tech spot, and then passing downs, I could see him kicking inside to nose tackle. And third down pass rusher. TBD, maybe James Lynch. Maybe they use Weatherly inside like they did in 2019. Maybe they kick Jalen Holmes inside like they did in 2018. Maybe they draft a guy like Aleem McNeil or Darius Stills or Jalen Twyman that they can use exclusively as a third down pass rusher at that 3-tech spot. Derek Baker or Hercules. If the Vikings don't draft a starting caliber safety, are you confident that Xavier Woods can do the job? If not, please explain. Thanks. I think that he can be a decent spot starter. I think that he's more than talented enough to hold off a guy like Josh Metellus. But, I mean, this is a deep safety class, and the Vikings have a lot of picks in the meat of the draft where you can get a guy to play safety in those mid-rounds. You can get a Hufanga. You can get a James Wiggins. You can get a Richie Grant. So, yeah. Gray Sutherland. Skull, I'll freak out if they don't draft O-line in the first round. I know a lot of people have said, well, they don't have to go O-line in the first round, but they can just get 2 third-round guards. But that's not a guarantee. It's not. There easily could be a run in the second round on offensive line talent, just like there has been for the last 6 seasons. And it's not so much that the Vikings will be reaching for offensive line at 14, because if the board breaks right, you're going to have top-end talent. Maybe it's Adarisa, maybe it's Slater, maybe it's AVT. So it's not like they're just reaching. It's not like the Vikings have a need at defensive tackle and then they just reach for Barmore at 14. It's not a situation like that. There will be top-end talent where they pick in all likelihood, and it's the glaring position need right now. So it all syncs up. That being said, J.C. Horn, probably. Salt Cypher. Even if the Vikings don't make the Super Bowl, is there a way the Vikings' current regime stays in place? I think if they win the division and win a playoff game, I think people could be safe. Yeah, and given they have 2 years left on their contracts, probably pretty safe. OTM Snipes. What was your thoughts on Gare Bradbury coming out of college? I thought he was an absolute physical freak. I thought that he was a perfect scheme fit for what the Vikings were on to do, shifting to more of a zone blocking scheme up front in the run game. I thought that there was a lot of questions about his anchor, and there still is, where he was going to get beat up on one-on-one spots, head up against some of the giant 350, 370-pound nose tackles in the game. And you're hoping that he can still add strength and size to his lower body, but it's not looking great so far. Logan Finn. How many picks is Harry the Hitman getting this season? 7. 7. Evan Kiskanowit. Did you hear about coaches expressing concern for Barmore's desire to be taught? Does that concern you? It's BS season right now, so I take everything with a grain of salt. This could be a team trying to fluff Barmore down to the back end of the first round or even to the top end of the second round. So this could all be nonsense. I don't know. I'm not going to base my opinion of a kid's character based off of hashtag sources, right? So, nah. Zach Farmer. Saw a report by Pelissero this morning that the Vikings seem to be interested in moving up to 8-ish. What would it take? Thoughts? If they move to 8, I think it would take a future first rounder, because the Niners, no, not the Niners, the Dolphins moving from 12 to 6 with the Eagles, that took a future first rounder and some change. So I think that's at minimum what it's going to take. So if Penny Sewell falls, go get him. Go get him. Absent that, I don't see anything else, really. Ezekiel Lockhart. Mel Gibson's mullet haircut and Lethal Weapon, or Jaromir Jagr in his 20s? I'll go Mel Gibson's mullet, because both are products of their environment. Mel Gibson in the 80s, Jagr hockey hair, but Gibson's was more aggressive and was seen on a larger scale, with the success of the Lethal Weapon franchise. Jared Lewis. Yahoo Sports just said that the Falcons are taking offers for Julio Jones. No. Because I think Julio's due to make like $15.1 million in his base salary this year. So the Vikings would have to take that on. I don't see it. No. Bring Felton or Smith Marset. Play him strictly on kick return returns. Maybe. Jeff H. Is healthy Wyatt Davis not worth a first round pick? If he was healthy, yes, he would be, because he played through injury 2020, And I actually think that Davis's tape in 2019 is more impressive than AVT's 2019 tape, even though they're both really damn good. So, yeah, if Davis was fully healthy, no knee issues, no whatever, I would put him above AVT. Jacob Ward. There's talk of the Vikings moving up to top 10 picks. Yes, cover that. Maybe. So if they give up 14 and a future first, and then they use all the third, fourth, and fifth rounders to move up into the second, it's possible and plausible. Ben Weatherly. Be interesting to see what the Vikings do with all the draft capital. For example, on O-line, you don't want to have a bunch of rookies come in and then punt on guys like Brandel, Udo, and Hinton. You also don't want a couple players of experience like Hill, Cole, or even Dozier, Samia. Yeah, this whole plan of relying on the draft and rookies to come in and fix the offensive line, I don't know if that will fly with this coaching regime. But that's the path that they've chosen. Miles, what's more of a need on defense, edge or safety or linebacker depth? Safety. Where I like Xavier Woods, I don't love him. And beyond that, Josh Metellus? Nah. Kane Russell. If you had to cast 5 current Vikings for an action movie, who would they be? Who would be the villain, hero, and side characters? The villain would be Kirk Cousins. Action hero? Well, obviously Daniil. Well, So it's going to be a platoon of dudes as the heroes. It's going to be a kind of a version of the A-team. I think Dalvin's going to be the leader. Sort of dour but funny leader, guy who just gets it done. Jefferson will be the funny sidekick. Michael Pierce will be the funny, large sidekick. And Daniil Hunter will be like the rip, stoic dude who, in case of war, break glass type guy. So, yeah, that's going to be the action movie. DP. Oh, it's going to be a heist. They're going to rob Kirk Cousins' house. DP. What current Viking has the best nickname? Who's Juggernaut? So I would say Hitman is up there. Swerve and Irvin, I'm kind of on that. And plus, it's been co-opted by Tyler Irvin from the Packers, which I do not agree with. Dalvin Cook, the chef, is just underrated because his last name's Cook. So his nickname's the chef. Kirk Cousins is a Tim Pop Pizza Ranch dictator. I mean, come on. Who else? The real deal, Brian O'Neill. That's up there. Gare Bradbury, the Grim Reacher. I think Daniel Jeremiah gave him that one. That's a good one. Diesel, Dalvin Tomlinson. I feel like that should catch up. I'm guessing Juggernaut is Michael Pierce, right? It's got to be, right? Barr and Kendricks don't really have nicknames, do they? Nah. Oh, Cameron Tiny Dancer. I know that he's nicknamed the Needle. That doesn't fit. I don't care that he's skinny. Tiny Dancer. DP. Oh, already answered that one. LB. There's been so much Kelamon talk. My friend's an A&M fan and says he's very inconsistent. I'm wondering if Mon would be a good pick. I mean, if the Vikings can get Mon at 78, sure. But other than that, no. I'm with your buddy. I've watched a lot of Kelamon tape, and you just don't know which guy's going to show up. Like, I understand that he's fast. He's got a strong arm. Probably has the strongest pure arm in this draft. But he's a 4-year starter, and he never really progressed. Like, I don't know. I get the heebie-jeebies, let's just say. Let us know where we're watching from. We'll give a couple shout-outs. Logan Finn, is Derwin safety a top 3? Derwin James, a top 3 safety when healthy? No, but it's close. I'll put him top 5, but also health with Derwin is a big issue. Angel Dutz Sr., with Barr basically on a 1-year prove-it deal and the Penn State linebacker saying they're 14, do you think Zimmer Spielman pull the trigger skull? Depending on the board, like if it's a spot where the top 3 tackles are gone and you're choosing between Parsons, a cornerback, AVT, I think they may go with Parsons. And I don't blame them. If they check out Parsons' character stuff and he's good to go, he's a phenomenal player. He's a really, really good player. Chris Danny Hansen. Prediction: Packers will draft Monroe their first pick. Thoughts? Probably not. Nah. Unless they deal Love, I don't see him going quarterback. Ty Smith. Thoughts on my ideal offensive line left to right? Cleveland, Vera Tucker, Bradbury, Josh Klein. Don't call it a comeback. O'Neal. I'm okay with it. I'd rather Oli Udo. I'll gamble on the pride of Alon. Patrick Harms. Do you think the Vikings could try Bradbury a different position on the line if he doesn't work out at center? It's possible. They could put him at one of the guard spots under the same theory of when they move Pat Elflein to guard. It's like, hey, if you get him away from nose tackles one-on-one, he can use his athleticism and play with better leverage, just moving left to right. But you'd still have one-on-one issues. So, yeah. It sucks because I like Gare Bradbury. Harvey Melber. I also believe the team goes cornerback with their first pick and don't go O-line until their second, third pick. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks because not only is it a lower caliber of rookie, but also it's a rookie. So you think Zimmer and Dennison's going to play him? Nah. Hayden, have you seen the stat comparison of Harrison Smith and Troy Polamalu? It basically says Harrison is better. No. It's pretty close, though. Although Polamalu playing on the Steelers always got more national love and attention from the writers that Harrison Smith just did not get. Jared Mason. If the Vikings get AVT in the draft, do you think they will be all in on Schwartz after the draft, or do you think they can get day one starter at left tackle after the first round, assuming Cleveland stays at guard? Being on Schwartz. AVT in the draft, I think be on Schwartz. Oh, Mitchell Schwartz. Maybe. But I think it's doing that. Well, I don't think they want to start at tackle after the first round, but they could get an intriguing project. Like they could get Brown. Nah, they'd have to maneuver for Radins and Cosme. I think they'll be solid second round picks. Maybe a guy like James Hudson, but he's another project. Yeah. Miles. Thoughts on the late third round pick, Alexander Madison's career thus far? I think he's been good when he's been on the field and healthy, but he's missed time in both seasons due to health issues. Right, so I think that he's underrated as a power back, except for 4th and inches against Seattle, but that's not really his fault. But yeah, I think he's a competent backup if he can stay healthy. But again, that's another big if. A couple shout outs. Let's see here. Buddha, Woodbury, what's up? Purple Rainbow Saw, Wisconsin. Patrick Harm, Cedar Rapids. Mick Houlihan, Ireland. Bagarla. Samuel Salinger Skull, Austria. Mike Benham, Grand Rapids. Logan Finn, Minnesota. Robbie, San Luis Valley, SLV. David Schaefer, Black Forest, Germany. Love your ham. Saxon Melberg, Ekdor. Bamtroll, Minneapolis. Maxim Satskov, Manchester, UK. Manchester United. Let's hear. Skies 27, score from Germany. What's up? Miles, Circle Pines. Andrew Olson, Mizzou. Hayden's at Kirk's house. Jacob Ward, Idaho. Madden, Texas. Hunter Williams, Baston. What's up? You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Big time week this week. What's up next? Sir Meeps a lot. I think the Vikings are strongly considering trading up to 6 or 8 in order to get Sewell. Do it. Samuel Salinger Skull. How many players from each offensive position do you think will be drafted in round 1? Quarterbacks, 5. Running backs, 1. Wide receiver, 5. Tight end, 1. Tackles, 4. Guard or interior offensive lineman, 2. If you consider Mayfield a guard. And that's it on offense. Yeah. Oh, fullback. Sadly, none. We need to make fullbacks great again. Zippin' and zooming. Who do you think will have the better NFL career between Kelamon and Kyle Trask? I think Mond. I think Mond will eventually be given a chance to be a starter. And I do feel like Mond's deficiencies could be fixed in terms of mechanics and consistency. Kyle Trask, I don't know. I just don't know. Now, I do think that Trask could be a decent journeyman backup for a decade plus, sure. But if we're betting on upside, I'll bet on Kelamon. Carson Harlow. I really like Shy Smith. I want him to be our wide receiver 3. Your thoughts? I like him as a return man. He does have some problems tracking the ball in flight, and of course, him being an undersized, fast wide receiver from South Carolina, that gives Vikings fans the eye twitch. But yeah, he's a really good player. Ivo Enyia. Who should we hire for our offensive line coach? Aaron Cromer. Just get Aaron Cromer, or hell, Mike Tice, or hell, someone. I don't care. Just not Rick Dennison. Hayden. Will Sarah Fuller or Destroying get signed? No. Nah. I actually don't see either of them actually getting a tryout either. Like a legit tryout, which is unfortunate. Seth V. Herman, do you think Sewell might not live up to expectations similar to Andrew Thomas last year? Well, Thomas, even though I liked him, he was the tackle 1 on my board, slightly ahead of Wirfs. Yeah, Wirfs and Wills. Thomas did have leaning issues coming out of Georgia, but thought that maybe he could get that fixed up, but didn't quite work out his rookie year. I think that he'll rebound. But Penei Sewell, man. Penei Sewell is twice the athlete that Andrew Thomas is, and if they combined both classes, 2020 and 2021, Sewell would still go 1, even after you factor in rookie years. So you would have Wirfs, clearly at 1 from 2020. I would still put Sewell above Wirfs. And that's saying a lot, man, because Tristan Wirfs, he got an all-pro vote as a rookie. It's crazy. Austin Arias, what realistic name would disappoint you the most at pick 14? Asante Samuel Jr. Or it's nothing against him, but it's the value of what will be there at 14. And if Zimmer just gets his damn way again and takes another cornerback, even though he doesn't have a good track record in selecting cornerbacks in the first round, dating back to Trey Waynes. Yes, I do include Trey Waynes as sort of the picks. No. Yeah, cornerback mainly. I guess, I don't know, Jason Oweh, where I understand you're betting on the upside, but I don't know. 14 just seems way too rich. Nick Jones, do you have a favorite restaurant in the Twin Cities? Yes. So there is a Korean restaurant called Hoban in Eagan, which is really good. And there's a pho place in Pho Tao Bay in South Minneapolis, like sort of towards the Uptown area. I hope it's still open. I haven't checked that out. The NFL and Fantasy Football Advisory. To me, after addressing defense and free agency, besides maybe linebacker, 3, safety depth, I feel like our 3 picks, trade down again. I feel with our first 3 picks, or if we trade down and get a second, we need to hammer offensive line with 2 of the first 3 picks and 2 of the 4 of the trade down. Thoughts? Yes. Larry Carlson, did you watch UFC 261 this weekend? I didn't, but I rewatched some of the main fights. So the Chris Weidman, man, that's so rough. That's so rough. And especially after what happened to Silva in their fight. I mean, that's rough, man. But it's part of the game. He'll come back. He'll be better than ever. That sucks. Kamaru Usman is a bad dude. I haven't watched the full fight. I'm saving that one. But Usman is a tough dude, man. Plus Thug Rose. She just did it again. Pound for pound. Absolute badass. Air 25. If Zimmer and Rick get fired, do you think they will get another job somewhere else? If so, where? I think Rick probably would get another GM job eventually. I think he may have to sit out a year. Maybe he'll do TV. I think Zimmer would get a defense coordinator gig pretty quickly. Relatively quickly, yeah. Houston W. The Raiders' round 1 curveball is Kelamon. God, that would be insane. I would love it. Mainly, I want the draft to come because I want insane things to happen that will just ruin everyone's mock draft. And just be like when the Raiders took Clelin Ferrell at 4 a couple of years ago, everyone was just like, what? I mean, for a lot of people, Clelin Ferrell was a second-round pick. Wow. Jack Lishide is trading 14 and 2/4 for 27 and 31 that are unrealistic. By the chart, no. By the tendencies of Eric DaCosta, yes. Yeah, I mean, the Ravens just don't really do that often, trading up in the first round. Now, they've traded back into the first round a couple of times, notably for Lamar Jackson in 2018, but yeah. Westworld, who will have the better career, Najee Harris or Travis Etienne? I think they'll both be good. I think that Najee has a higher ceiling because I think that Najee has a chance for more 3-down work. I think Etienne would be better suited as a platoon guy. Theodore Olson. If you look at the teams picking 1 through 13, which teams are you absolutely sure will not pick any offensive linemen? Well, the first 4 teams. Actually, no. Well, let's bring up the order. So the first 3 teams, yes. Jacksonville, the Jets, and the Niners are not drafting offensive line. Atlanta, if they have to stick and pick, maybe they just take Penei Sewell. So that's a maybe. Cincinnati should be on an O-line. Miami could be on an O-line. Lions, well, since it's tackles and they paid up for Decker and they paid up for Big V, maybe they go a different route. Maybe. Carolina could certainly go offensive line. Denver could go offensive line. Pick up Slater, Darisaw, or Sewell if he falls, and then play him at right tackle. Dallas could go a line. Dallas sneaky has offensive line problems. They do. Connor Williams hasn't worked out. They never replaced Frederick at center, really. Giants could certainly go offensive line. Philly needs help all over the place. They could definitely go offensive line. And Chargers obviously could go as well. So basically only you rule out 3. So 10 teams out of the 13 easily could go offensive line if the board broke the right way. Next up. Logan Finn, is Creed Humphrey a stud? I think he is a stud, but he does have similar issues to Gare Bradbury, where you worry about that one-on-one anchor, but he's an athletic, physical freak. Nick Doroff, boldest NFL draft prediction. I think Justin Fields falls. Yeah, coupled with the reports that the Niners are reportedly in on Trey Lance and Mac Jones, I think that Fields has a few questions in his game. Plus, I don't think the epilepsy diagnosis helps him at all. So I think that he may take a tumble. And it sucks because he's a good kid. He's a good player. Sir Meeps a lot. If we don't get Sewell with a trade up, I trade back in 20 to take AVT inside Eric Fisher, and all line is actually solid. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. Chris Danielson, Andrew Reid must watch your videos because every offensive lineman you take, you can snatch up. It's pretty fair. Stupid Chiefs. Hunter Williams, score from Savage. Thanks for the best content. Thank you. Who is your favorite player in the draft? Trevor Lawrence. Samuel Silent just goal. How many special teamers do you think will get drafted? I think there will be 2 kickers and 1 punter. And I have no thoughts into which ones will be which. Diego Sid, thoughts on Storm Forsyth from Florida? I think that he is unique where he's got size. He's like 6'8". He's like 350. He's got great feet. Like he sort of reminds me of Bryant McKinney. Sort of like a poor man's Bryant McKinney. I think he's a super project. I think that he has to sit for a year, maybe 2. I think that you could get him maybe in the 4th round and then just stash him for a couple years. But it's nice the way he popped up. But it is a concern where you have these linemen coming from spread systems. It's like, okay, is it him or is it the system? 1-2, ball out quick, manufacturing stuff. Even though Kelamon or Kyle Trask certainly is not a mobile quarterback, but in an RPO heavy scheme, it does slow down defensive linemen, especially edge rushers, just that half a second to maintain lane discipline. So we'll see. Amicus Conaway, Kelamon or Mac Jones? I'll take Mac Jones. Yeah. Cray Person, thanks for all the hard work. Your videos are best. Hey, thank you. What would it take to move up to 8 if Sewell falls? Probably a 1st round pick. Future first. Yeah. Will Ryan, who are you taking if we trade back to 2024, 27, 32? I will take AVT, Tevin Jenkins, Dylan Radens, and Sam Cosmi. There you go. Still hammering that offense. Or maybe Landon Dickerson sprinkled in there. Or maybe Wyatt Davis at 32. I don't know. That's it. That's the Daily Jerome's live stream for Monday. Thanks a lot for coming along. It's going to be a very, very busy week. And yeah, subscribe. Come along for Daily Vikings Takes. And like we said, anything donated this week is going to be donated to the Sheridan Story, helping feed kids in the Twin Cities area. It's a great charity. It's worthwhile. So anything you donate, either by subscribing as a monthly Jerome or in the Venmo or whatever, is going to go straight to them. So